Selfish. Being selfish. I am a big fan of telling people, artists especially, to be selfish. And what I mean by selfish is to put your own needs first before worrying about what other people need from you. And I'm not talking about being self-centered, and I'm not talking about the bad kind of selfish where I see it as like imposing your will on other people. That's a whole different thing. So let's talk about that just for a minute, so that the title "selfish" doesn't screw people up. When some people when they're just all about themselves, very self-centered, don't care about anybody else. That is not what I am talking about at all. And what I am talking about is deciding as an artist, as a person, as a human being, what you want out of life, making that your vision, and moving forward with that, regardless of what other people want from you. See, because that makes them really the selfish ones in terms of imposing. How many times do we do what other people want or act a certain way because we think that's what other people expect of us, when really we feel like, well, I'd be selfish if I did what I want. But no, what's really happening is they're being selfish by imposing upon you what they want from you. Well, I want you to do what I want, or I want you to be who I think you are. Basically, it's I want you to do what I want so that you're making me more comfortable, is what they say. And then we kind of create that dialogue in our minds and then change our behavior to make decisions about what we want to do, and change the kind of art that we want to make, because we think that this would be more acceptable, this would be more appropriate, this would be more marketable, right? So just a couple of examples written today in the comments. Danielle mentioned that a lot of people expect her to make portraits, but really what she wants is to make weird art with bold colors and lines and all kinds of stuff. And she posted some images. And by the way, Danielle, if you're watching this either now or later, those images were really cool, and it doesn't look like you've posted them in your own post before. So if you post your art in comments, and now I'm talking to anybody in the group, if you post your art in comments, people on that thread will see it. But if you would prefer more people to see your art, do it in your own post. So Danielle, you're more than welcome to go and put that in your own post. And then Kirsten mentioned that she sometimes feels that she has very little time to get to her painting because she's always taking on graphic design work that other people want her to do. So, and I personally know what that's like, because I have had these grand visions of doing my music and TV shows and storytelling pieces that I want to do. But, I got a family, I got to make money. And for some reason, I always just said, well, that stuff goes on the back burner, and I'll just go do these people's websites, or I'll make a video for this person. And I would end up doing client work, and it just kind of sucks the life out of you, because then by the time you're done doing that stuff, you don't really have the energy or the creative juices anymore to do the thing you want to be doing. And here's a cautionary tale. What kind of happened to me is that I got to the point doing websites and videos for other people that I really started resenting it. I couldn't stand it anymore. And something had to change, because I was just going, that business was going to fall apart on me eventually. Probably not anytime soon. I probably could have gone another 5 years even if I had to. And I could have jolted it back into play again if I needed to. But it was never going to last much longer than that. And I knew, wow, I am not doing what I need to do. So I kind of came up with 3 quick steps to be selfish. And, this is not comprehensive, and it's not a life plan or anything like that, but it's just things to kind of keep in mind and think of, like, where am I on this journey? And the first one is find time to make the art that you really want to make. And I'm going to put this in the context of an artist, since that's what we are here. But this really goes, you could use this plan in anything in your life. Make the art that you want to make. Find the time to make it. Even if you're starting small, an hour a week, a half an hour a month, whatever it is, if you can kind of block that time to just be like, I am doing this, I am going to get started on this, or I'm going to make this more of a priority. And then what happens is you can kind of incrementally add to it. It starts at an hour a month or an hour a week, and then it becomes, 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then before you know it, maybe it's a whole day every week where this is just my day to work on this thing. because I understand that we can't just you can't just call your boss or your clients if you have a business or whatever it is that you're doing and tell everybody to go screw themselves. This is on the phone, right? Go tell everybody to screw themselves because I'm painting now or whatever. But you can find time to do your thing. So start small and find the time to make it a priority. And number two, this is something that really helped me, is that I started to think of my website and video clients as a paper route, right? This was something a coach of mine suggested, and we started using this terminology. We started calling it a paper route. And so it was no longer my thing. It was no longer, oh, I'm a web designer. I stopped calling myself that. Yeah, I still have clients. I still do a website here and there for people. But I really started thinking of myself and calling myself, I'm an artist, I'm a filmmaker, I'm a musician. That's what I call myself. That's what I am. But if I have to go and do this other thing to make money today, well, that's a paper route. I'm just going to go and, paper route, if you don't know, because you're really, really young and you don't know what a newspaper is. In the olden days of the 1900s, a young kid would get a job as a paper route, as a young boy, and take all the papers from the deli or wherever, the newsstand, and put them in the basket of his bicycle, ride around town and throwing them on people's front porches. That's how people in the very olden days used to get their news before we had iPhones and, the internet. It was printed on paper, and you would read the words off of the paper. But the kid would do this as a job. It was something they do before school or after school or whatever, and for a couple extra bucks. But then eventually what happened was adults started doing that job, and then the kids couldn't get the job anymore. That was a really terrible thing. Now I don't know who does that job because I don't even look at newspapers anymore. But anyway, I digress. If you think of it as a paper route, you're no longer assigning it to your identity. It's not like, oh, I wish that I could do more painting, but I'm a designer, or I work in retail, whatever the heck your job is, this thing that we tend to take our jobs and turn them into our personal identities. And we tend to take our art and the passion that we have in life and turn it into a wish. And I would say instead, take that wish and make that your identity, and take this thing that you have to do right now because you need money or whatever, and make that a paper route. Make that a little extra role, R-O-L-E, not, roll like you eat, in your life. Don't make that your identity. All right, so that's two. And number three is have a vision, right? Think about and spend some time each day, even if it's just a few minutes, just think about what you want out of your life, out of your art. I only want to do this. I only want to make this kind of art. I only want to spend my time doing this. And envision what your life would be like if that was all you had to do, if you could put all of your time and energy into that. Now, maybe you can't do that today or tomorrow, but if you keep envisioning it and keep working toward it and stop calling yourself a this thing that you have to do, and instead start thinking of yourself as a this thing that you want to do, well, then eventually what happens is you become this thing. And first you become it by calling yourself that, and then you start showcasing it, and you start showing some people some stuff, and next thing you know, people believe it, and you believe it, and you start getting the people around you who believe it too. And if you don't believe me, well, you can see that I'm doing it right here. I just decided, yeah, I'm doing this. I'm starting this group, and bam, I'm going to do my live videos every day, and people are going to show up, and we're going to talk. And right now it's only Ray, but who cares? Because you're watching this in the replay if you're not Ray. And but most days, there's a lot of people here. So I'm going to stop it right there, but you get the point. Ray, I'm going to come read all your comments now. Hello, how you doing? Hey, Bobby, life goes on above you. Yes. Yeah, let's go. There are crickets in the background. Oh, you don't hear anything. Okay. You and me, Bobby. You are so instructional. And me too. Hi. Oh, I don't know who that is. It doesn't say. Oh, it's David again. Hi, David. How you doing? Oh, no, that wasn't you the last time. It was Tony the last time. David, how you doing? Thanks for being here. Ray, I skipped your comment. You are so instructional. Newspapers. I do one of those for the little town I live in. You do a paper out, or you print a newspaper? I'm guessing the latter, but the former is cool too. And Mikey's here too. Oh, everyone's showing up now. Where the hell have you people been? I've been talking all this time and nobody's been here. Now you're all here. Hello, you missed it. I could start over. I'm not gonna. Ray, no, David, and me too. Hi, David. How you doing? David, have you been on one of my lives before? I can't remember. Anyway, if you haven't, hello, if you have, but I've seen you around in the group. Ray, it's a Friday. Yeah, it is a Friday. Fridays, I notice things kind of wane. And that's fine. You know, like I've said this before, I don't expect people to be here every single day. I have to be here every day except Sundays. But even on Sundays, I show up and I post stuff. Mikey says, believe in your real self. I do. I thought that said idiot. Because it says IDO exclamation point. I thought it said believe in yourself, idiot. It says I do. Good for you, Mikey. I'm glad you're here, buddy. I do everything, including delivering them. Cool. So that's pretty interesting. You write it, you print it, and you deliver it. That's really excellent. Wait, what did you say? For the little town I live in. Where do you live? You live in Canada, right? Am I right about that? And Talina's here. Hello, fellow. How you doing, Talina? Well, I'm glad everybody's showing up now. Well, we're done. This is funny. Talina, I really liked the challenge idea. I'm going to play around with those ideas. We talked about them yesterday. I'm going to play around with that in my head over the weekend. And one of these days, and I keep saying it usually toward the end of every week, next week I want to start this challenge thing, but I never really nail it in my head of what I want to do. I want to do something where we kind of bring the whole group together and in sort of like a challenge, and everybody posts things based on the same thing. And but we're going to do that really soon. I also have to be ready for it. I have to know that I've got time in the week where I could really put into commenting and looking and stuff like that. And this was not the week for that. But Ray says, and take the pictures. Yeah, Cartier, Ontario. Okay, cool. That's where you live, and you take the pictures. So you do the whole thing. You know, that would be interesting. I don't know. I'd love to see what that looks like. Could you post a picture of the newspaper? I did maybe a couple of shots. I'd like to just see what that looks like. All right, guys. I'm going to go. I have wine and dinner and stuff. Nails in your head. That's an interesting picture. Nails in your head. What did I do? I said something, didn't I? And now I don't know what I said. Okay. Well, listen, Ray, you get the booby prize today. And I will, listen, I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with me, even though you showed up at the very end and I talked to one person the whole time. I appreciate it. Bye. Can do. Cool. All right, guys. Bye-bye.